Boomhauer 69 here, and I'm just on my local nature trail here. As you can see behind me, there's a little bench. This little nature trail has those. This is the Fred Meyer Grand River Valley Nature Trail. I just call it for short Fred Meyer Nature Trail. I've done videos about this before, like west behind me back there, back that way. I did some videos of that section. I called it in the video the West Michigan Bicycle Trail, but it's actually called the Fred Meyer Grand Valley Trail is what it's called. But this part is heading east. That's where I'm headed. Back behind me, if I went that direction, I'd head west back to my house. And we're going to head east to the town of Ionia, they call it. Just in case anybody wants to look up on the map, you know, where I'm at. This nature trail, again, I did a little history video about it. It used to be a railroad tracks, and then the railroad company sold it to the organization that made it, the nature trail. And the reason why they call it the Fred Meyer Nature Trail, because the company Meyer's, the guy Fred Meyer's, who was the one whose family started the store chain Meyer's, he donated a bunch of money to help fund this nature trail and stuff. So it's a nature trail to fund the nature trail and stuff, and that's why they call it the Fred Meyer Trail, because they just named it after the rich guy that donated all kinds of money. So we'll see what we can see. Now, part of this is actually on state government land. They call it state land, which is basically owned and maintained by the state of Michigan and the Department of Natural Resources, the DNR. So, yeah. And you'll see signs posted, you know, along the way. Like, they got mile markers and stuff, like, you know, how far, you know, the green mile markers and stuff. And so you can kind of where you're at, you know. So that way, if ever in the event, you know, if you got hurt on the trail here and you need medical assistance or something, and you could, and if you're near a mile marker, you can tell the person, I'm at mile marker, yada yada, and then they'd be able to look you up and come to your rescue. You know, that's a good thing. Yep. And stuff. And then some of this is also private land, you know, there's posted signs, private property, blah blah blah, you know, too. So, but as you get further down this way, you come to the actual state land, where you're entering state land, and then your public state land where you're allowed to walk around, hunt, fish, you know, whatever. Now, and the reason why they put in the name Grand River in the name of this trail is because that way over there, north, south, east, west, I'm heading east, north, that way is the Grand River, where the fishes are and stuff like the river. Now, some people do kayak that river and stuff. I had a family member that he kayaked that river back in the day, but yeah, that's the river. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, that way right there is where the Grand River is. If you was to walk straight that way, eventually you'd run into the Grand River. Again, the Grand River, I've talked about this before, it's just a big giant flat river, you know. It's real easy to kayak and stuff. I don't think, as far as I know, there ain't no really like white water rafting type spots or anything like that. It's pretty calm waters where you could just, if you want to, you could just hop in a kayak and float down the river for miles on end with no worries or anything, you know. It is a pretty deep river from my understanding, but I never personally kayaked the river. I just fished off in it is all I ever did. I never really kayaked the river. I was always more kayaking local lakes and stuff when I used to take my kayaks out when I had a vehicle where I could tow kayaks. I don't anymore. But yeah, but usually on one side, when you're walking on this nature trail, one side you'll get housing and stuff for a while, and then on the other side you'll get more kind of nature-y scenery and stuff, more nature woodsy stuff. But eventually, as you keep walking this way, you'll eventually run into the state land, where it will be nature on one side and nature on another, and beautiful. But when walking this nature trail heading east, this is what you're gonna mostly see, is just a bunch of this nature. Now, the last video I did was back kind of in the fall time when it was kind of snowy, cold out. But this is what you're gonna see in the nice spring and summertime. It's still May right now, and it's actually Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. For those of you who live out of the country, don't know what Memorial Day is, that's a day where we honor our veterans and people who served in the military and stuff. But this is what you're gonna see, you know, when walking on this nature trail. Now, panning over to this direction, this is heading west. If you was to keep walking that way, you'd head west. And then on this side is, you start seeing more nature, and if you keep walking that way, you will run into the main road. And then over here's the field, where if you keep walking that way, you would head into the Grand River. And of course, this is warning people about state recreational area. This is, now we're heading into the state land. That's also warning about the ticks, because ticks are high in this area. That sign right there is just letting people know that they're now entering the state recreational area. This is public land where people can, during the hunting season, that have hunting licenses, can go out and hunt it on certain seasons. You know, during the hunting season, you can come out here on the state land, go hunting, or you can go hiking and stuff. Basically, you can do whatever you kind of want on state land. You just, basically the rule is you gotta leave it like you found it, kind of thing. You know, obviously you can't go on to the state land and, you know, cut down trees and to do anything like that, cut down trees or destroy the forest or anything. Because what the state land is way years ago, the government bought up a bunch of land to try to preserve nature for future generations, you know. That's what it is. So for those who don't know what it is, it's just government land where people can go out and enjoy nature. And so when you're on this nature trail, you're heading east into the town of Ionia, you run into all the state land and stuff, you know. Back in the day, there used to be houses and gravel pits here, you know. Yeah, I think if I remember right, my father, he was born in 1957, and I think it was around the 70s, maybe 60s, 70s, around that time is when the government started buying up most of the land out in this area and made it government land instead of private land. So, yeah. So if you come to Michigan, you know, Ionia has a lot of state land where people are more than welcome to walk around nature and film nature and all that stuff, you know. And of course, they have on that pole there a sign warning about ticks, because we've been having this year a problem with ticks, the little bugs, so little ticks being an issue. So if you walk this trail, I'd had to suggest wear some sort of long pants, you know. I'm currently wearing blue jeans with liners and just a short t-shirt. A short button-up shirt, not a t-shirt, just a button-up shirt and short sleeves. But definitely recommend be on the look for that, you know. Educate yourself on knowing how to check for ticks and stuff on your body, because they can carry diseases and stuff and make you sick. So, yeah. Yeah, right over here is a little creek. Beautiful land right here. Just like here's the little creek here. Because out this way, since it's state land, they have designated spots where people can park, if they're going hunting and stuff during the hunting season, or just simply hiking through the woods and want to hike the nature trail and hike the state land and stuff. They have plenty of parking spots throughout. They even have designated spots for people to do horseback riding. They have even places where people can do what they call dog runs or whatever. People who track animals with dogs. They have a special dog run area for people to, I guess, train their animals, their dogs to, track. People who go hunting with dogs. They have a place for that too as well. Out this way, but yeah. I'm basically gonna just keep walking until I get wore out and decide to turn around and head back home. My goal was to try to possibly make it all the way into the next town over and maybe show the beautiful big bridge we have, pedestrian bridge that goes over the Grand River itself, and maybe I can show that if I don't get wore out and stuff. But yeah. And that's about, probably another 5-6 miles out. That trail would be, because it's going to be another 5-6 miles until we reach that bridge destination. But if I don't film it today, then I'll try to film it some other time. But yeah. And of course, as you're walking on this nature trail, you'll see these benches throughout. And the reason why they have this wording on there is that's just the people who donated money and donated to make the bench. Then as you're walking, you also will see the mile markers they have. Those are, which I think is good, they put mile markers on this nature trail, so that way if you ever have an emergency issue or whatever, you need to call somebody, you can say I'm at mile marker whatever, and they can come rescue you for whatever the case may be, And I see it's good they put benches just around, because before they didn't have that, the many times I've walked this nature trail, they just recently put those benches in, and all those are is just people, they donate basically a bench, they give money to have a bench made, and then they put their logos, and the company that makes them puts whatever they want on the bench, wording or whatever, like you see there and stuff. So yeah, I don't know how they do that. I was always kind of interested in maybe looking into how they do that, because I thought about, one time having a bench made with my parents' stuff on. Like some people in my town around, they have those benches, say, in loving memory of, and I thought about for my parents that passed away. I thought that would be a neat thing to do, because my dad lived in this area since 1957, and my mom lived in this town for a really long time with my father, and there was a lot of people that knew my family for many years, so I always thought that'd be kind of a neat thing to do. Well, that's how close we are to the Grand River. That's why they have when they named this nature trail the Fred and Meyer Grand River Valley Trail, they put Grand River in the name because that's the name of the river, and that's how close we are to the river. That right over there is the mountain biking trail. So if you have a mountain bike and you're not from this area, you can walk. They have a spot where you can park and enjoy some mountain biking for those of you who like to do those bicycle mountain bike trails. It's only for, as far as I know, it's only for just mountain bikes, no dirt bikes or anything like that, as far as I know. I never mountain bike on it or anything, so I really don't know what the rules and regulations are. So now here's the other mile marker we're coming up to. This is, I forget how far apart they put these, but this is they always have those on this nature trail. That's the other micro marker. It's more of that state bicycle trail. This is a bicycle path trail for people who like to ride their bicycles and mountain bikes and stuff. Right here's the information about it. There's a map of it. Now here's more of that mountain biking trail I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's a pretty long trail, you know, pretty big for mountain biking if you enjoy mountain biking. And if you look that way, you can kind of make out the road. If you walk that way straight, you will end up on the main road. And then again, if you walk this way, you'll end up walking towards the river. And that's on the right of me is the main road, and then the left is the Grand River. Well, we're a little bit about, I want to say more than halfway, but as you're walking, this is what you'll see when you walk up here. They also have a sign that says no motor vehicles, because this is a pedestrian walk bicycle path. It is not a motorized path. You're not allowed to basically ride your go-karts, dirt bikes, and or vehicles on it. And also they have no horses as well. But this here is the entrance to the primitive boat launch, where you can launch your boat. This is still state land. This is where you can launch your boat. And also that parking spot for also that bicycle mountain biking trail. Here's some information. They have these every so often. But this is a map. It shows you where exactly this is where we are. It shows you a map of the area. So if you get lost, you can kind of find your way. And there's about the recreational mountain biking trail I was showing. Rail Trail Network. So this board just kind of gives you the information you need if you're not from around here and you kind of don't know where you're going. This will give you information to help find your way. So basically, if you're new to this area and you don't know a whole lot about this section of nature trail, or you're from out of state and you want to travel this nature trail, that sign back there I showing with the map on it and everything, that will help guide you to wherever, will help guide you to where you need to go, or if you gotta head back that way. Now this trail I'm on goes, I'm walking east. It's at east and west trail. So if you're walking this trail and you head that way back towards my hometown, that's gonna be west. I'm heading east, so always remember that. And if you're walking on these trails, have, like, I got a mobile device here where I can look at maps and stuff. Have your mobile device with you, a map or a compass, you know. I also, in my pack that I always carry, as you can see, I have a compass and everything I would need to find which way is north, south, east, west. Now the river, that's north. The road over here, that main road, that is actually way south. So it's north on my left, south on my right, west behind me, and then east forward. So just in case, you know, to try to help you people out who stumble upon this video and you decide to come to Michigan and check this area out, that'll give you a rough idea of the directions of which way you're going in. And this is the little bridge they have that goes over the creek. Beautiful. There's more of the creek scenery. Well, I guess this will be a good spot to end the video. Sorry I can't show you the bridge I was going to show you over the Grand River, the fancy walk bridge over the Grand River, because I looked at my time and realized I don't have the time because I got to get back home and take care of some business, but I thought I'd stop right here at this sign here. I thought this would be a good spot to stop and do an ending to this video. So I hope you liked this video I did of the nature trail. Again, I'm not a professional camera guy. I never call myself one. So hope you enjoyed this video, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, please do so, because it will help me to be able to do more of these sort of videos and stuff if you're subscribed to the channel. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You know, I had a break in the weather, and I thought it was a nice day out to do a video of this part of the nature trail, since I didn't do this far back, because the other time it was cold and in the fall time and getting around winter, so I couldn't walk this far. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and hope you all can get out and enjoy the nice weather.